And hello and welcome to Learn a Trade. I am Kevin Tate, and today we're going to be going over the F'real Blender repair, the Scour Heater replacement. This is a B6 model um, blender. So this is the F'real Blender, it's the B6 model. They also have a B4 model. So this is the newer model. First, you want to remove the screws from the left side panel. There are 5 screws right in here. Next, you want to remove the screw from the lower left front panel. That's the screw right here. And this is the panel. And it just pulls, once you get the screw out, it pulls out towards you. Kind of like a pull and twist motion. Then remove the lower left front panel. That's that panel right there I was talking about. This little blue piece right here that you see has the USB plug connected to it. That's the modem. That just sits right down in there. Sometimes they'll have two-sided tape holding it up back here, but after a while that tape wears away and then the modem just sits down on the bottom, which isn't an issue unless it gets wet or something like that. So you usually want to try to put it up out the way, right up in here if you can. Then remove the left side panel. Loosen the screw clamp on the drain hose. This is your drain hose right here, and the screw clamp is right up in here. You just want to loosen that, slide it down, and then pull your drain line off of that drain port. Then remove the drain line out of the back of the machine. Right behind the machine, you'll see the drain line going up into a hole, and you just want to pull this whole line out of there so it's out of your way, and then just sit it to the side. Then, I'm sorry, 1 second here. Get back where I was there. Then rotate the machine so that the back of the machine faces you. So you're going to rotate that all the way around for yourself to have access to the scour heater. There are times that it will be cramped up on the counter and you don't have a lot of room. And that's when you would probably need a lift table to be able to pull that onto the lift table so you can work on the machine and have enough room to work. Remove the inlet water line quick disconnect. This is the inlet water line quick disconnect. This little silver tab right here, you just press that in and then it will disconnect from the male end of the inlet line. Remove the rear panel. There are 6 screws. That rear panel goes right over this area here. There's 3 screws on this side, 3 screws on that side, and you just want to remove those and pull off that rear panel. Give me 1 second here. Okay, then you want to remove the lower center panel to access the scour heater. So there's a center panel that goes down right around this area. You want to remove that, and then that way you have full access to this scour heater area. Remove the inlet line from the water flow valve. This black valve right here is your water flow valve. This is your inlet side of that valve, and you want to remove that water line that's going in there. You just pull up on the blue tab, and then you can pull out that line and then sit it all to the side. That line is connected to that rear center panel that you took off. So you could just sit that all to the side also. Disconnect the inlet solenoid fitting. This is your inlet solenoid, and this is the fitting that you're going to remove. You can use a pair of channel lock to loosen this nut, and then disconnect it and keep it loose until you get done. Disconnect the scour heater wires and slide the assembly out of the left side. So those wires, there's one wire up top here, and there's another wire on the bottom of this upper high limit. You're going to disconnect those, and then there's two orange wires that connect to these two black wires, and that's going to get disconnected also. And then you just sit the wires down to the side, and then you'll slide this whole assembly out so that you can get access, so that that whole assembly pulls out all at once. Remove the two holding screws from the back of the scour heater assembly. These are those holding screws right here. There's two of them. It takes an Allen key for these. So just remember that. I believe it's a 1/4 inch. I'm not 100% on that, but you'll be able to figure it out with your Allen key set. And then you just want to loosen these screws, and then this old scour heater is going to come out. Remove the sensor wires at the bottom of the scour heater. These two sensor wires right here, the black and the white wires, they're going to get disconnected before you pull that whole assembly all the way out. So just make sure you disconnect those wires so you don't pull them too far out. Remove scour heater water line from the Procon pump assembly. This is your Procon pump assembly, this brass piece right here. That's your Procon pump assembly. This is your outlet line from the scour heater. So you want to disconnect the clamp and then pull your line off of there. You might want to use a pair of pinch offs right up in here just to pinch this line off, because this tank is full of water. So you want to, try to cut down on any water leakage. So you might want to clamp that line with a pair of pinch offs and then disconnect the line from the Procon pump. Remove the scour heater water inlet line from the plastic Y fitting. This is the inlet line of the scour heater. You want to disconnect it right up here. You want to disconnect this clamp, pull that line off, and again, you might want to use a pair of pinch offs to keep it from leaking out once you get that line off. So you may want to go ahead and pinch that line off also, then disconnect your line from this Y fitting, this YT fitting. Dispose of the old scour heater into a bucket and let it drain out. So, like I said, these are filled with water. So you just want to go ahead and get that out, drop it into your bucket, and then just let it drain while you're finishing up. Mount the new scour heater onto the slide assembly and secure it with 2 screws. Those are those 2 screws that you took out earlier. So we're going to put the new scour heater on and then resecure it with those screws. They also send 2 screws along with it if you need it. Connect the scour heater inlet line to the plastic Y fitting and secure with a clamp. So there's your Y fitting, and there's your new inlet line from the new tank, and then you use a clamp to make sure you secure that line to the Y fitting. Connect the scour heater outlet water line to the Procon pump and slide the full assembly back into place. So that's the new outlet line from the scour heater, and it's reconnected to the Procon pump down below. Reconnect the water inlet solenoid fitting. That's that screw fitting that we took off earlier, and you're gonna reinstall that. So you'll go ahead and tighten down on that screw. Now don't go too tight with that screw, because as you can see, this is a plastic fitting and it will crack on you if you go too far. So you just want to get it tight enough where you're comfortable it's not going to leak. There is a gasket in there, so it's like kind of like a water hose fitting. So you just want to get it tight enough where it's sealed with that inner gasket. Reconnect the lower sensor wires to the scour heater. Those are those 2 lower sensor wires that you took off before. So you're going to have to put those back on the new one. Just reconnecting everything. You're doing everything back in reverse. Oh, sorry about that. That one kind of came off of the page. But this one is saying reconnect the lower high limit wires to the scour heater. This is the lower high limit. Right up here is the upper high limit. So these 2 red wires, they get reconnected to the lower high limit of the scour heater. Reconnect the steamer tank wires. These 2 orange wires, they go up and connect to the 2 black wires that I showed you earlier. Those go to the steamer tank that's above. You want to reconnect those. Reconnect the upper wires on the scour heater. There's 2 wires that you would have taken off earlier, and you want to put those back on. This is one of them. The other one is on the upper high limit, but it's on the bottom terminal of the upper high limit. This line right here is already installed, so you don't have to worry about it. It's already connected. So it's gonna come assembled like this already. So don't worry about that wire. just these two wires right here, this heater wire and then this high limit wire on the bottom of the high limit, the upper high limit. Reconnect the water flow valve inlet line. This is that black water flow valve, and this is that inlet line that's coming from the rear panels connected to the male end of the quick connect, and then it runs over to the flow valve, and you just want to put that back in there and then resecure it with the blue clip pushes right down and secures that line. Reconnect the lower center panel. This is the lower center panel. You want to reconnect that. It has 6 screws, 3 on this side, 3 on that side, and it's right in the center. So this right here is your male end of that quick disconnect that I told you about. Reconnect the main water inlet line. Push on quick connect. This is the female end of the quick connect, and you just want to push that right onto the male end of the quick connect. This is that button, that release button that releases that water line if you ever need to release it. But you're going to push that straight up, and then you're going to hear it click. It has to click in. You'll hear it click, and then you'll hear the water rush in to the water line. Reconnect the water drain line and secure it with a screw clamp. Then reassemble the lower left front and side panels. So this is that drain line. You're gonna fish that back through the hole in the back panel, and then guide it up to the drain port, and then connect it to the drain port and secure it with your screw clamp. And with that screw clamp, you want to get that as tight as you can, just to make sure that you got a good secure grip on that line, because that port is plastic. So sometimes if this screw clamp gets too loose, that this line can pop right off of that plastic port. So you want to make sure you have a good connection on that screw with that screw clamp. Open the front door and turn on the blender. This is the front area of the blender. Your release, your door release is right down here, right down on the right hand side underneath this panel, this lower panel. It's right on the right hand side. You just want to press up on that, and then that door is going to pop out. This is the door latch. So once you press that button, that latch releases the door, and then this is your on and off switch, and you just want to press that switch on and let it start up. The blender will initialize first. So the blender will go into initialize mode. It'll go ahead and communicate with the manufacturer through the modem down below, and you'll give it a few minutes to go through that initialize mode. Blender will go into a deep clean mode, 15 minutes. So right here, after initialize mode is complete, it'll go into a deep clean for 15 minutes. And this is the perfect time for you to start cleaning up your tools, cleaning up the area, and getting everything straight that you have to move around or anything like that. And then just let it go through its deep clean and then go on from there. Blender is ready to blend. Now perform a test blend, and the machine is operational. So right here is where you would go ahead and get your favorite flavor out of the freezer and then put it in the cup holder and then press it how you like it, either thin, regular, or thick, down on the keypad below. And then you would go ahead and do a test blend. So if you did a regular, just press regular and then it'll start its test blend. And you just want to see it go through its cycle. And then once it's complete, you'll have a shake, a milkshake right there. And then you know it's operational, and then you're ready to go. So that's all I have, everyone, on the F'real Blender. I hope this was helpful. I hope it is useful to you out in the field if you ever come across these. Um, their tech support department is great. They help you out virtually, um, and then they have the manuals are always available through the machine itself. You can pull up. I'll probably do a video on that at some point, but you can pull up the menu QR codes on this machine, and all you have to do is scan the QR code with your phone, and then the manual will pop up for you, so you can go through the manual, or you can contact their tech support line, and their tech support will help you out virtually, and they're very good. That's why I said that it's a good idea to think about applying with them as a service provider if you're thinking about getting into this business on your own, independently. Think about it, because they do have a very good tech support department, and they they work well with the parts. They get you the parts next day usually. Um, so I really have no complaints about their tech support. So that's all I have, everyone. I thank you all for watching. I hope this was useful. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at info@learnatrade.online. Leave in comments on how, if this was helpful to you. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching. Thank you, everyone. Take care and stay blessed.